we're so excited that you're here with us today. And on this episode, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of my colleague, Monique Forcier. Monique is a spiritual coach, intuitive energy and sound healer, a Kundalini yoga teacher, a real estate maven, and a serial entrepreneur. Also all around amazing friend, mom, grandma, all the things. So I just can't wait to ask Monique some hard-hitting questions and maybe some really just fun ones too, so that you all can get to know her like I know her. And are you ready, Monique?
Totes.
Let's dive right in. Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
And Monique.
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.
Hi, Monique. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready to go deep
I am.
with me?
I'm there. I'm ready.
Amazing. Well, as we embarked on starting this podcast, I think a huge topic is who the heck are we?
Right.
Getting to know
Us.
each other,
Yes.
share about each other.
Mhm.
And I thought it'd be kind of fun to just ask some questions. So for this episode, I'm going to focus on asking you some questions, Monique.
I'm
And
in the hot seat.
you're in the hot seat, which the hot seat is a big deal for us.
Yes.
And you'll learn more about that soon. But let's also preface that you do not know what these questions are.
I do not.
I'm excited. So, and the goal is really just to share more about your heart and soul.
Yes.
What makes you you. And we're just going to have fun with it. And I might ask follow-up questions. So I've got a list, but I mean, we might just run with it.
Okay, let's
Cool.
do this.
Okay. I'm going to start with a big one.
Oh boy.
It's very dramatic.
Okay, do drama.
What breathes fire into your soul?
Ooh, oh, that's a big one. What breathes fire into my soul? So many things. And it has evolved and grown and changed over the years, right? But like probably first and foremost is just my base foundation in my beliefs in spirituality and people, my family. Yeah, they're like soul giving for me. My spiritual practices are just like, they fill my cup. That said, I also have a lot of passion and have tried to not be, but am just like so into uplifting other people and promoting business just either through my own entrepreneurial spirit or the entrepreneurial spirit of others. Yeah. Answer the question?
Yeah. I mean, what I know about you is you have a fiery soul and you
Yeah.
stoke it with a lot of amazing things.
Yes.
And that's part of what makes you an amazing human.
Aww.
That's true. So my next question is,
Yep.
who or what really pulls at your heartstrings?
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I have 2 grandchildren now.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. I look at them and I'm like, oh, you're so perfect and you're so beautiful. And so they definitely are the number one pullers. My kids still too, if they were like, Mom, I need this, I'd try my best to make it work out. I really have a soft spot, especially just since I've had some life adjustments in the last 5 years for people who have gone through like mental health challenges, people who have gone through real severe heartbreak, and people who are just going through major life challenges and transitions. I have so much compassion and empathy because I have gone through some of these, and my close people next to me have gone through some of these, and I've seen the struggles and seen them come out the other side, and they usually come out stronger, but the support that you get along the way is so necessary to be able to make yourself either a better person or just kind of like a person, if that even makes sense. Yeah.
For sure. And I feel like the ability that you've had to bring those learnings into forums that you can share with others has been a huge part of your own healing.
Yes.
And work.
Yes. Being able to share what I feel comfortable sharing with people when they are going through those tough times, I feel like it normalizes and brings narrative and language to people who maybe are grasping at like, what is this weird thing that I'm going through? And why do I feel what I feel? Well, it's just normal, you know? So, it's really an honor to be able to help people or assist people when they're going through those things. I kind of have like, you know, pulling the heartstrings. I feel and have a lot of empathy and compassion for people, but those are the people that just like I really have a soft spot for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like picturing your grandchildren like literally having you wrapped around your finger. Like, oh my
Good thing they're young and they don't know it yet.
Yeah. They're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And you are gonna be the best grandmo ever.
Right?
So much fun.
Oh, I love them.
Lucky little things.
Aw.
So my next question, kind of going off on a different tangent, is tell me about your spirit animal.
Oh. Well, so really interesting. When I was young, I pulled like all my spirit animals, not really knowing kind of what I had somebody help me do it. And it's funny how like I really focused on one, and then like that like shifted and grew and changed. And when I was going through like a big transition with being married and then not being married, it was the wolf. But now I feel really pulled to horses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's really kind of changed and switched a little bit from the wolf to horses. And the reason is, for me, my word of the year that we always come up with a word of the year as our mastermind activity, for a group activity, is freedom. And to me, a horse represents freedom. They can run, they can be wild, they are in their bodies and they're in the moment, and they buck and they play, and they're group, but yet they are individuals. They can be they can help and assist other people. They can do their own thing. I mean, it's just kind of like to me they represent this freedom that I'm really in pursuit of. Yeah.
I love I like the concept of spirit animals is relatively new to me, but I just love how whenever an animal will come up, you can instantly be like, owl. That's this. And I feel like now I have a spirit zoo.
That's me too.
Because I'm like, well, it depends on the day.
Right.
But I really do feel like it helps
Yes.
to identify with nature and specifically, living beings. And just like they're all around, and the things that they're telling us, I have really come to believe are real.
Yes.
So my spirit zoo, and I love that you can see this transition in terms of what's guiding you.
Yeah.
Of course.
And it kind of like represents where I'm at, right?
Yep.
And I've never been one who's just like, well, this is the thing, and I'm going to die with this thing. And I think it's really important to evolve and grow. And so it would make sense to me that my spirit animal may shift or evolve and change and grow as I evolve and change and grow, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And and I wasn't like necessarily wanting that, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily looking for that. It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And newsflash, as we continue this podcast and talk more about the work we do together.
Yeah.
Spirit animals definitely make their way into our conversations on the regular basis. And sometimes people will mention them. I'm specifically remembering an instance where someone was talking about, and there's this damn bird that just keeps singing, and I'm trying to meditate. And we both at the same time were like, wait a minute, this is a thing. Listen to this song. And so I just love how that weaves in organically to a lot of what we do together.
Yes.
So, spirit animals.
I know, right? It's a thing.
So going a little bit more towards business, because that's we're all about melding spirit and love and business and personal and all of that jazz. I want you to think about a moment in business when you wanted to give up?
Oh, God.
And what happened
Which
next?
one?
Yeah, we could go on all day.
Right.
But yeah, just think about that moment. And then what happened next?
Yeah, one of the most profound ones that is just like top of mind, right? Like there's been many, but top of mind business moment. I can't even remember how old I was, but I was probably in my early 30s, maybe late 20s. My ex-husband and I had purchased 2 ladies only health clubs that were on the Iron Range. So an hour and a half away, there were 2 of them and they were in different towns. Each of them were an hour and a half from where we live. And the one of them had a fire.
Oh, God.
I know. And we had owned it under 6 months. And
Nightmare.
we're driving there to try to assess the damage. And it had been just crazy, like bananas since we had purchased them. I still was running my commercial cleaning company. And I also had these health clubs. My ex-husband at the time had a full-time job. And then we had 3 young children. So I was working about 80 to 90 hours a week. And then the fire happens and I'm like, what in the heck? I remember driving there and thinking like, I just wanted to stick my head in the sand and quit. And luckily, I also have a part of me who is really perseverant. And that through just trials and tribulations, we just persevered. It took time to unravel from it, but we ended up deciding that that was not the business model that we wanted to pursue long term. So we ended up unraveling out of it, but I didn't allow myself to quit. Even though, like, if I'm using the horse analogy, my horse was pulling me towards just run off the cliff. You know, I just wanted out.
Burn the whole place down.
Right.
Done.
Why did we just stop with the room? We should have burned the whole place to the ground. I mean, that's how I felt. Yeah. It was beyond my capacity to know how to deal with that at that time. But I look back at that period of time and I see them on a growth with the perseverance that happened. And I never went to school for like an MBA in business, but that was my MBA in business.
Yeah.
I paid for it because the company lost money. And also I learned so tremendously on all fronts about so many things. It was so valuable. But if I had quit, I would never have learned those lessons.
Yeah.
And I would have not had self-respect. I wouldn't have had dignity in myself. I would have felt bad about myself, I guess.
Yeah. It's really true that entrepreneurship is like the school of life.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's just things that you can't know them until you feel them and experience them. And they're going to happen. Like somehow those fires and floods and the craziest things that you can imagine, like they're going to happen.
Yes.
And they happen to everyone. It's about how you find your way through it.
Right.
And I think that's something that as people go into entrepreneurship or working, you know, in business in general, like you just should just start out by expecting the unexpected and go from there, because I never want to tell someone like, oh, that'll never happen to you.
Yeah, it's so
never happen to you.
Right.
Yeah, but the benefits are there, and the life lessons can be applied in all parts of life. It's not just in business, and if you don't learn them, then it's just a wasted opportunity.
Totally agreed. A wasted opportunity. Very good. And you know, we all have those things in our lives that we feel like maybe we didn't do 100%. But one thing I never want to do is live with regret. I think regret is just like, it's like the thief of joy, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to, and so I think that's where my perseverance comes from. Like, this is not going to get me. This is not going to get me down. I'm not going to regret, like, you know, not doing the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With you on that one.
Mm-hmm. I know you
That's
are.
how we end up in all kinds of situations. No regrets.
Right.
So did you ever think you'd be doing a podcast?
Absolutely not.
Fun fact about Monique, she's kind of new to the podcast world.
Yes.
She's not a serial listener like myself.
Yes, let's have lots of grace for Monique, because she is not really a podcast listener. I really try, but I just don't. Yeah.
Somehow, I think that's actually going to add a little bit of just unexpected for this, and like going to a really fun learning experience for both of us.
Exactly.
And what would you say is like, what are you most excited about in this part of our journey together, the podcasting.
Oh, geez. Okay, in the podcasting journey, because we have a couple things.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I mean,
right now.
as the entrepreneurs we are,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we? With podcasting, I'm really excited about bringing information that lights us on fire to people.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited about that because I don't think I'm special or anything like that. And I mean, we're pretty average girls, right? Like,
Yeah, we're your run-of-the-mill
Right?
Minnesota women.
right. But
I don't know if
like,
that's true or not.
well, okay, maybe a little,
Fine.
fine, whatever, maybe a little tick above, but whatever. But that said, like whatever we're going through, whatever challenges we're facing, whatever things we find just like intriguing or interesting, I'm guessing it's relatable, right? So when we bring it to the collective,
Yeah.
then it really is not because like we're just like these kind of like out there people. It's really about like, hey, this makes sense for us. I bet it makes sense for you too. It's totally relatable. So I'm really excited about bringing this podcast forward so that we can share with more than just you and I and the people that we are in our groups, but we can share with a larger audience the things that really light us on fire, that we're really into, to maybe start a narrative or a dialogue or a different way of thinking or whatever the thing is, so that people can kind of get a little glimpse at either normalizing it or thinking about things different, whatever the thing is.
It's so true that in all the work that we've done in our different groups and spheres, like the common themes are always there.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're universal. They're
So true.
And they're often themes that are not talked about.
Yes.
And they come up in these really tight spaces where we are, there under an NDA and we're in a safe space and so finally we can talk about it.
Right.
But the reality is everybody needs to hear this.
Yes.
And I feel like this podcast is going to give us a chance to talk about those things, normalize and share.
Yes.
Outside of like one room of
An NDA.
An NDA, yeah. So I'm excited about that too. And we just have fun banter.
Yes.
In like normal life. So
Yeah, we do.
I hope that other people enjoy it. But
Yes. We build off of each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes like we'll have a thought and then, or you'll be talking and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this made me think of this. And it just like is it's a beautiful partnership that we have where we can share, right?
So that leads me to my next question.
Oh.
What's your favorite thing about working with me?
Aw.
Just a little self-serving.
As it should be. Well, I mean, one? You only want one?
Oh, I mean, we got time. I mean,
yeah, all right, I'll allow many.
it's not a limit.
Well, okay. So, I mean, first and foremost, you were my friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So working with your friends that have similar interests and ways of thinking, there's nothing better, right? I mean, it's not I'm your boss, you know what I mean? It's a partnership. It's a true partnership. And we have a true partnership where we're equals. You may be better at some things or I may be better at some things. Irrelevant, because that is just life. But really and truly, that is probably one of my favorite things. Also, we just really love like traveling and eating and drinking and giggling and spying together, and like maybe shopping, maybe like need to make more time for that.
Same interest.
Yeah, same interests. Our interests are very aligned. So I love that about us. And when we get ourselves into that space where we are co-creating fun, the magic just happens.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
There are not a whole heck of a lot of people in life where you can just flow with so effortlessly and totally be 100% yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And not have a fear of judgment or censorship.
No.
I believe that you at your core are that way, and so am I. But to find other people that way can be really challenging, right?
Yeah, people aren't ready for that.
Right.
They can't handle that.
They bring their shit.
Yeah, and they just like read too much into the vulnerability that they're willing to put on the table.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, for us, we don't ever take it personal.
Yeah.
So I love that we don't take stuff personal, right? And we just both do our work. Okay, I don't know how many that was, but
no, that's all good. I'm happy to hear all of it. I'm just living back to a moment about a week ago. Maybe like actually a week ago. Well, roughly.
Today, right?
And there we were. In a foreign country, floating in a salt pool.
Oh, gosh.
And all of a sudden, I'm like flooded with just ideas, and I'm like,
Yes.
got to tell Monique immediately, and then we got in trouble because we were talking in a silent zone. But it's like when we're in that, like you said, the word co-creation state of fun, it's amazing how the next steps they just materialize so
Effortlessly.
clearly,
Yes.
so effortlessly.
Yes.
We riff on it. We're on the same page.
Yes.
And then the path forward just unveils
Yes.
itself. And I believe that when we work with people, we help them find those paths, those relationships, and that like just trust in, like, if you find yourself in this state of joy and with people that make you feel this way, like good things will just come.
Yeah.
And we prove that on
Yes.
a regular basis.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed. It's all about your circle, your collective, the people you put yourself around, and how, and I feel very fortunate to have met you all those years ago in a mastermind.
Yeah.
Where I recognized in you like a similarness, right? An alignment, I guess, that there's somebody who I could co-create with, or, I didn't even know what I didn't know, but I just, when you meet someone, you just know.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're my people.
Oh, there I am sitting across this big boardroom table, and I see Monique come in, and I'm like, she's gonna be my friend. Like, I just knew it.
This will
I
happen.
was like, I just know. I
Yes.
don't know, like, how we're gonna get there,
Yes.
what journey we're gonna take. We had very different lives,
Right.
but I just knew, like, we're gonna be friends.
Yes.
And we organically just found our way there.
Yeah.
And it's just been a lot of fun ever since.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
So my last question.
Oh, yes.
It's no secret to anyone who knows either one of us that we love to travel.
Yeah.
We love to travel together.
Oh, so true.
And so my question is, where are we going next?
Oh, well, I mean, we did talk a smidge about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, personally, where we're going next, I think we decided, well, I don't know.
That's the problem. Well, we're
Which
going
trip?
to a lot of places.
Yes.
Maybe just, pick one.
Okay, pick one. I believe we're going to Napa in a year.
Oh, yes.
Right?
That's the plan.
Because we're going to eat at this really fancy restaurant and drink really nice wine and just like
Gonna
get lost.
treat ourselves.
Yes, for all of our hard work.
Yeah.
But we did talk about going back to Spain because Spain is just fabulous.
People have been asking me, so we just came back from a trip to Spain, and they've been asking me, like, what is it about Spain? And I keep going back to, and this is totally in line with what we're talking about right now, they are the most joyful people.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like joy in their day. And I've witnessed some of the just like most amazing, like random dance parties and singing and hugging, and like, that's just how it is there. And I just want to be part of that.
I know. They have such
Not to
open
mention
hearts.
gorgeous, good food, all cheap, all the things. But more than anything, I'm just drawn to that joy.
Yeah.
So we were smitten with like, well, there's a big country. Where else? What other
Right.
parts should we explore?
Right.
So I'm down for that for sure.
Okay, good.
We should also maybe mention that as part of our mastermind
Yes.
groups, we plan trips as well.
Yes.
Next one being Tucson.
Yes.
With our groups. I've never been there. And so I'm so excited to experience it with you.
Yes.
I've never been anywhere in the desert Southwest. Like,
Oh.
I know.
Oh,
just
didn't
has
know.
not been on my radar. So
It's lovely in Tucson.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, it will be fun.
There's no end to the planning of future trips, but
We bring our groups with us.
that's
for a lot
part
of
of
them.
it.
Yeah.
Because that part of where our relationship grew was in the traveling.
Yes.
Because
yes.
when you find someone you can be compatible with on the road and you experience the traveling at the same depth, it's just addicting.
Yeah.
Gotta do it again.
And that also reminds me too of like when you travel and you take yourself out of your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we had that moment floating in the pool, right? You take yourself out of your day-to-day life and you're able to have fun. That creativity naturally just drops in and you're able to come back just inspired and re-energized. But you almost have to take yourself out, especially as busy as we all are, and just, like, and do those things.
And not everybody can let go in travel and just like truly experience in flow, like what's happening. And that's something that's been so enjoyable traveling together.
Right.
It's like, we don't exactly know what every day is going to look like. It's not fully planned out. We have some ideas, but we just flow through. And and have so much organic joy. And I find like that's just,
Yeah.
that's soul feeding right there.
Secret sauce, baby.
Well, that was my final question, and I feel like this has just been so fun to just to share more about you and what lights Monique up, and I can't wait to continue these conversations together.
Same.
And my hot seat will be next. But thank you, Monique, for sharing some of the insights in your heart and your soul, and I'm just excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for listening today. We hope that you've enjoyed a little bit of glimpse into our hearts and souls. If you are interested in learning more about Monique and myself and the work that we do together, check out our website, theheartandsoulmastermind.com, for more information about our mastermind group and our podcast and other projects that we have coming up. And also check out MoniqueForcier.com. We'll link that in the show notes about more of what Monique does in her spiritual coaching business and just all parts of her life. So I invite you to learn more about this amazing woman. So with that, with heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I am Monique.